Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be checking out your Minecraft builds and bases. Subscribers of the channel, we're going to be reviewing the Whispercraft Season 4 world, which is our vanilla survival Bedrock fan server. We're also going to be checking out Piglandia Season 2, which is our vanilla survival Java patron server. These servers are home to hundreds of amazing and talented members who have poured their hearts and souls and hundreds of hours into building bases and builds, landscaping, building contraptions, and just having a fun time on our fan servers. So I'd like to honor them in today's video and showcase some cool things for you guys to look at. Let us know whose build is your favorite down in the comment section, and in general, show some love for the Whispercraft and Piglandia members who have poured their hearts into this server. Of course, there's also a full world download of Whispercraft Season 4 and Piglandia Season 2 over on my website. You can check that out, download the world, blow everything up, or just check it out and see what there is. And if you're interested in joining any of our fan servers, you can of course learn more on my website as well. Full information and documentation about all of our fan servers can be found on our website. We got 4 fan servers, if you're not aware, 2 public, 2 patron, so there's something for everybody. Let's start by checking out Whispercraft Season 4. This world was only up for about 6 months in between 1.18 and 1.19, and World Spawn was built by our amazing build team members on extremely short notice because we just got word that 117 and 118 were being split, so we kind of needed to get something going, and they built an amazing little like camp area with some great lore behind it, including Jason and some very creepy things that are definitely worth checking out. But yeah, this was built in just a couple of weeks by our build team members, and it's super cool. There's even a little spot where people can come to claim their own little plots and build a starter house inside of Spawn, which is something that we've never done before. If you download the world, there is a scavenger hunt at Spawn in addition to the Jason Easter eggs, so have fun with that. And my favorite thing about any world spawn is always the sign wall. This is a thing that we do for every world that we've ever had. Basically, you come into the server, you put down a sign with your name on it, and then you are part of the server history forever. So basically, everyone that played on the server has a sign here somewhere, and it's always really cool. I really like it. Next to Spawn, we have the community shopping district, and this is always one of my favorite areas because there's no real rules about what you can build, so it just turns into a giant chaos pile of all these different build styles melding together, and it always looks pretty fun. And next to that, we have the gaming district as well, with a couple of different games in it, looking pretty good. In shopping, one of the bigger buildings is the TSH building from the Deadly Ray, and probably a couple of others. And they also got their own custom map art, which is pretty cool. Inside of here, there's just a bunch of stuff to see, many different floors, it's all custom. I kind of littered a little bit, that's fine. There's an elevator select to all the different floors too, which is pretty cool. Let's go to the balcony garden. Balcony garden, what did I tell you? It's got accurate signage even. So, of course, all throughout the shopping district, there is just a ton of cool stuff to explore. Can't go into every shop, but you could probably explore this for like a couple hours. There's also the community nether hub that was designed and built by the members, and they also manually broke all of the bedrock in the ceiling by hand using powdered snow, and that was a bug. Or you could say they Thanos snapped that out of existence. Terrible pun, but it's accurate. As you can see, there are dozens of little holes in the nether roof everywhere from the powdered snow trick. Makes getting across the nether pretty convenient, honestly. And yes, someone was very dedicated to build this because they had to break out all the bedrock layers below it in order to actually, you know, build it up properly. And in here, there's actually a little bit of a room where you can see they got the Infinity Gauntlet. Right off the edge of the shopping district, we have Shockwave's base, and this is probably like the best underwater base I've ever seen. It looks so cool. I love the color palette, and it's actually like a fully functional underwater base. Like you can just swim around and have access to everything. All the farms are contained within their own little buildings and stuff, and you're actually like intended to like actually swim around this area. That's really cool. I really love this base a lot. If you go down below, there's a whole extra area down here with beacons and other farms and stuff. It's even got underwater terraforming, which is not something you see very often, and it's got parking for skeleton horses too. Nice, I like it. Obligatory Piggo statues as well. Looking good. Everything about this is great. This is the public Guardian Farm, which is possibly the most over-decorated Guardian Farm that I've ever seen, and it looks great. I love the aesthetics of this place. You'll also notice that there is some like custom giant seaweed in the ocean down below. Looking pretty good. I actually really like this thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a castle mansion thingy. I don't know, but it looks good. Not sure whose these are, but the sugarcane and bamboo farms look really interesting. There's a nice pattern on top of it. It's just kind of nice to look at. On top of here, there's a little bit of chaos. Right next to there is this really nice ocean base. I really like what they got going on here. The color palette is great. I really like the circle thingy and this big pointy thing in the middle. It's incomplete, and I don't know who it goes to, but it's a very nice little base. And then we have this very nice wall and mansion from Smidrix. There's a lot of detail in this, and I really like how it's going. As you can see, it's kind of built on both sides of this opening in the river here, and that leads to their mansion in the back. Galaxy Dragon has this neat, like, industrial base, and I really like the aesthetics of this too. The nice combo of the brick and the deep slate along with the coarse dirt. And then you got some weird lava tubes on the back as well. Honestly, just a really interesting combination of things. There's also a cute castle on the hill up here with a village and town underneath it, and the roofs of these are really well done. I love the bright blues in contrast with the dark oak and the spruce. Looks great. This base is from Phil. Next up, we have a really interesting base in the End Dimension by Zcat, and the idea behind this base is that the Endermen have been using this beautiful crystal in the middle to teleport to all different kinds of places in the overworld and steal things from it. So as you can see, there's an entire island over here of Minecraft structures that have been stolen, along with some dioramas using the custom armor stands, and this is actually really cool. I like this a lot. You got almost all the structures in here. I love how cluttered it is. It's just like kind of a hoarding of different structures, and it's really cool once you start to dig into it. The rest of the island also has a few different places and biomes scattered around, all these different blocks from the overworld, and then there's also a few islands scattered around the edges as well with random builds on them, and they're all pretty interesting looking. Like, I really like this thing right here. That's pretty epic. I'm not sure who this base belongs to, but their goal was to make it inconvenient, so all of their building materials and storage is literally placed on the ground. There is no chest in this area whatsoever, and that actually makes for like a pretty interesting area. Like, this is just kind of cool to look at. You can see everything they own placed down in one place or another, and it's kind of interesting. I never really considered that before. You can see they got all their tools and weapons on like armor stands and whatnot, but all of the blocks that they have are actually placed on the ground, and that's pretty cool. I like it. It's an interesting idea. There's a surprisingly decent all diorite pyramid, or ziggurat, I believe is the actual technical term for it. Looks, I mean, the blocks are bad, but the actual build is nice. Props to Mark Means for making diorite actually function in a build. It's pretty decent. And they have a double diamond beacon down there. I guess we know what they didn't spend money on. Premium building materials. Okay, that's enough making fun of diorite. There's a really nice mansion from Mimuchi, and this thing is just great. The build palette is unconventional with the amethyst, but you know what? It turned out great, and it's kind of overgrown and natural looking. It's got calcite everywhere. It's even got a nice garden and trees out front, too. What else can you ask for? This is just a pleasant place to live. And, you know, mild flex out front, too. Next up, we got a very large Viking-style ship from Henny, and this has even got like a dragon thingy sticking out of the ocean over there attacking the ship. Honestly, pretty cool. You can see there's also a whole bunch of crew members on deck as opposed armor stands. Nice little dioramas too, of like axe throwing and arrow testing and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a pretty fancy Viking ship. It's even got like a pole and a beacon on the inside of it, which is like top tier. There's also this nice sandstone mansion slash castle in the overworld from Amory, or you know, however you want to pronounce it. I'm bad with names. But on the inside, this is very nice, actually. I like it. It's good details. The roof is not something you want to bump your head on, but It is cool. Nice double staircase as well. I've tried to build these so many times, I can never get a double staircase to work, but that looks really good. Here is all of our logged coordinates for Whispercraft Season 4, in case you feel like poking around or exploring the server when you download it. And that's most of the things from Whispercraft Season 4. It was a very short season, only 6 months, so there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm to build giant bases, because, you know, reset was always imminent for 1.18 or 19, I forget which one it was. Moving over to Piglandia Season 2, this server lasted for about 2 years and just reset with the 1.18 update. This is world spawn, and it doesn't appear to be anything much because this isn't actually world spawn. Down below it, the community members built the entirety of the Nether, basically, transporting in all of the biomes, plenty of mobs, and some major structures, including a bastion and a Nether fortress as well. This took months of work, and it was built all by hand by the survival members of the server. It's honestly quite incredible, but this is not the only mega project that they did on the server together. There's a lot of just huge things on here that took an extreme amount of time and took the effort of basically every single person that plays here. Spawn wasn't built underground, it was built on the surface, so then they built a huge, massive mountain range around it to hide the Nether build. Heading over to the Nether hub is another massive amount of work, and you might see a little bit of a theme forming here, because the Nether is actually the end. So they cleared out a massive perimeter here in the Nether and filled it with an entire end island and a whole end city too. They even brought in some immortal end crystals from the end dimension somehow, and because they put in so much effort, we kind of cheated in an immortal ender dragon with no AI just to add to the aesthetics of the Nether hub. So yeah, that's actually the Nether. It goes through to the Nether roof, and it's honestly just an insane Nether hub. Like I said, the Piglandia members spent just hundreds of hours on these projects. This Nether hub was basically built by every single member of the server and took so much time. Basically, the most favorite piece of technology on this server was the quarry, and they used it a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna get a copyright claim or strike for this, so if there's a sudden and crazy cut in the video and nothing happens, you know that the YouTube gods were angered. But this is a huge note block song built by Creeper Tuck, so you can see just how giant this thing is, and I actually forget what song it is. So we're gonna go ahead and press the button. Can you tell what song it is? Does it bring back memories from your childhood? It's the Animaniacs! You gotta love the Animaniacs, man. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can of course download the Piglandia world and come check it out. It goes on for a while. There's even a looping function. Here's a little base from Tiglish, and I really like the rainbow cylinder at the center of the base. It just looks pretty cool, actually. Like, I kind of want to build this now. Interesting design choice. This is Psychotic Moomoo's giant factory build, and honestly looks pretty nice. I like this style of build. It always looks good, and the smoke coming out of the smokestacks actually looks really nice too. There isn't much on the inside, but it's pretty nice on the outside. And of course, the rest of their base is very nice and detailed too. I really like this build palette too. The acacia wood never gets enough praise. Pretty sprawling base too. Like, this just keeps going on. There are so many buildings in the area. Tons of farms, tons of little contraptions and things hidden away. This is a nice little house on the hill and village from UT Biochemist. I do like the style of just having like a bunch of tiny little houses and stacking them really close together. It's always been a pretty neat build style to me, and this pulls it off pretty well. You get to try like a bunch of different styles at once, and then, have your bigger builds at the top or whatever. Here's another base from Psychotic Moo, and this is another ocean base. I got a thing for ocean bases, so I gotta say, I do really like it. I don't know what it is, but ocean bases are one of my favorite. To give you a sense of idea for the kinds of projects that the Piglandia members like to get into, this is one of them. My render distance is barely big enough to see it, but if we just chill around the edges of this thing, you'll see that it's very, very large, and also in the middle of an ocean, so that's extra pain. But the inside of this is literally a quarry all the way down to Bedrock, and it's just massive. There's 9 quintuple beacons in here, and this is purely for one witch hut, which I don't think is a real witch hut. I think they just built that there. This doesn't have a farm in it. There's nothing in here. It's just a giant, really big hole in the ground because they can. After all, why shouldn't they build a giant hole to the bedrock in the middle of an ocean and then surround it with lava and fill it with beacons? I see no reason not to do that. This was worked on by basically like half the whitelist, including Creeper Tux, Psychotic Mumu, Infinity Clam, and Pale Rider. Riddle Me This, Violet Simone, Diaz, Etzmine, and Tomato Turtle. Small and unexpected base from Creeper Tux, and it's actually got a collection of seemingly every block in the game. This isn't the entire base, so this is just like the least convenient storage system in the world. This actually goes underneath the waves and then continues on for a ways, and it's got a whole bunch of different like branches to it. So if we go inside of here, we got the main storage, and this actually looks really good in the shaders, not gonna lie. I really like it a lot. So yeah, it's got a bunch of these different wings that go off in various directions with a bunch of little builds in them. Creeper Tux also built this insane thing right here, and they also did the graphic design for it as well. If you're familiar with map art, then you might be able to maybe tell what this is, but if we open up a map here, you can see that it's the Piglandia logo transported into Minecraft. It's a little bit squished, but you know what? It's still pretty detailed, isn't it? Pretty awesome work from Creeper Tux. There's also a lovely little swamp village by Dr. Tay, and this is a very nice little area, but it's got kind of a deep, dark, creepy secret hidden underneath a false bottom in this tree over here. So if you go through the bottom of the tree, you'll see that the majority of the base is actually underground, and it's a little bit creepy, but there's all the base things that you would expect: storage systems and farms, villager tradings, and of course an entire collection of mob heads. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of builds, but it's kind of hard to explore the world when your chunks only load this fast and you get these big old like frame drops every 10 seconds or 2 seconds. I'm definitely missing out on a lot of the Piglandia 2 builds that I would like to show, but the world is loading extremely slow for some reason, and it's just super laggy on my computer. Not sure why that's happening, and I also explored all of the submitted coordinates and showed you guys what I found there. You can see all of our logged coordinates for Piglandia Season 2 on screen right now in case you feel like visiting anything in the world download. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of the builds from the Whispercraft and Piglandia members. Let us know whose build is your favorite in the comment section down below, and make sure to download the worlds as well so you can check it all out. If you feel like joining Whispercraft, Piglandia, Derptopia, or the Plot World, then of course check out the website. All of the information on how to join is there, and you might also consider joining our Discord server, because that's where we do all of the whitelisting and stuff like that. If you liked today's video, then drop a like or maybe subscribe to watch future videos, and I'll see you guys down in the comment section. And in the next one, thank you for watching, and then there was silence.